I think kind of the first thing I want to say is, you know, it took us a year to kind of conceive that project of the mural, and kind of did it in a ragtag way with just a lot of confidence, maybe a little naivete.
That's how a lot of really good things.
Yeah, a lot of elbow grease. And, you know, we funded the project, we collaborated with the community on what the content should be and what it should mean to folks. We hosted fundraisers, and like Brady said, we really wanted this to be funded by the community. I see a ton of people in this room who donated to us or brought us snacks or LaCroix. And I think that is something special about this project that, you know, we could have had the money in a night if we went to a room full of folks with deep pockets, but we wanted to have many hands in the project more than we wanted the money from the deep pockets right away. And we really wanted to have a big party at the end of the mural. That was kind of like, we really wanted to have this celebration. We were so exhausted from painting all summer that giant wall. So I really want to thank Barbara and Carl and Mark and Gordy's just for your support throughout the whole project. There's not very many projects that are done in this way and in this scale, so I think it's hard for folks to maybe understand all that went into it. So thank you for being a cheerleader and for throwing the party that we were too tired to throw ourselves. I have been in Muncie for about 10 years. I'm not from Muncie. I'm from a really small town in northern Indiana called Winnemac. My parents were teachers in Winnemac. It's a town of like 2,000 people. I was telling Carl earlier, we were 30 minutes away from the nearest Walmart and an hour from the nearest Target. So growing up as like an artsy queer kid in the middle of nowhere was challenging a little bit. And I ended up in Muncie when I was a student at the Indiana Academy, and going from that really small place, I'm lucky to have the most supportive family in the world, and my mom was a retired art teacher, my dad's a retired social studies teacher, so fabulous way to grow up. But being at the academy was kind of the first time that I was around people who were really different from me, or who shared the same kind of differences that I had, and it really kind of opened my mind. And, you know, being in a place where there were music venues and there's an art gallery and there's art mart, it really was just kind of the first step into opening my mind into a broader world that I could be a part of. So I went to art school in Indianapolis, and then kind of wound up in Muncie, fell in love with the Muncie boy. We have a house just a couple blocks from here. And Muncie has really become my home, I think, in large part due to this mural project. I tend to be kind of an introvert, and I'm really independent, so I'm usually just doing my own thing, sewing, working in my garden, and being able to be part of this collaborative project where so many of you showed up. We had so much support, and so many people supported us in so many different ways, and just seeing how like enthusiastic and invested this community is, it just really sealed the deal that this is home. So I want to share a little bit about my personal work. I have always been drawn to textiles. I love to be able to kind of work in really minute details. I love the kind of intricate work of stitching, piecing. That's really meditative to me. And I also like to have the push and pull between working small and working large. I studied art in college, and I also studied art history and sociology. So textiles are so rich with social meaning. You know, the clothes that we wear, the textiles that were produced throughout history has so much social meaning. So working in textiles and working in that media is a really good way for me to explore, you know, the enjoyment of working on these small pieces and working on these small details and reflecting on what that work can mean in the larger context of the world and how we operate. And a lot of what I do, this work that you see here is a little sliver of the pie. A lot of what I do is functional textiles. I consider myself an artist and a craft person. So I make a lot of quilts. I made this jacket that I'm wearing. I love to sew clothes and make things that can add beauty to my everyday life. I consider my gardening and my neighborhood advocacy as part of that creative practice also. So a lot of my creative journey is kind of looking at things in that granular level and also zooming out to kind of see how things fit into the grand scheme. And I think the mural also really fit into that. It's become kind of part of our fabric in the community. And it just means so much that all of you are here to support us and that you've supported us in so many ways throughout the entire process. I could not think of a better group of collaborators. These people have become my friends and my mentors, and we kind of created this opportunity for ourselves. And I think that's something as artists and creative folks, there's not always a template for how we do our work, and not everyone, there's not, you know, a linear process of how it works. So it just means the world that we were able to support each other and still leaning on each other and growing together. So just so much appreciation to my collaborators and to all of you. This really means a lot.